It's the original. Hello, everyone. This is Classick of Eminent Sports Broadcasting, and I'm here rocking with you, Dolo. My co-host was unable to make it today. He has some personal stuff to take care of, but I'm here tonight to break down the Zepeda and Gesta fight that took place on the Zone tonight. It's a nondescript fight, no big deal. You know what I mean? William Zepeda is a player in the 135-pound division. He showed his ass tonight. And Gesta didn't show up at all. He had some spurts in the beginning of the fight in the first round. He was popping a jab a little bit, moving around, and making some things happen. But that was about all the resistance that he put up in the fight. The fight ended in about the 6th round TKO corner stoppage, and yeah, it was one-sided affair. Did we see anything from Mr. Zepeda tonight to let us think that he'll possibly be upsetting any of the top 135-pound fighters? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Because he showed stamina, he showed determination, but he was there to be hit. So in the 135-pound division, who would he beat? I mean, he would be competitive with most of the guys. I mean, other than, in my opinion, I don't think he'd really be competitive against Tank Davis because Tank Davis has that raw power, and Zepeda was there to be hit. But anyway, let's talk about this fight a little bit, man. You know what I mean? I kind of want to, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily just focus on the big fights only. I want to touch on all of boxing. You know what I mean? Now I have a very very busy schedule, so I'm doing my best to try to like cover the entire sport, cover all networks, cover all fights as much as I possibly can. Even fights that are not big, no one's really talking about. There's no real buzz for a fight like this, but I was interested. You know what I mean? Because I actually like William Zepeda. I'd like to see what he would be able to accomplish in the division. Will he become a world champion? Because I mean, he's ranked number one in the NBA, right? So if you're ranked number one in the WBA, and I don't really think Devin Haney is going to campaign at that weight, the natural progression will be Javante Tank Davis. But anyways, Gesta, like I said, you know what I mean, Philippine fighter. Clearly, you can see in this fight that he was the smaller man in the fight. Zepeda had his way. I mean, there was a there was quite a few instances where he was getting hit. Zepeda was getting hit flush. One of the one of the funniest parts of the fight was when he Zepeda got his mouthpiece knocked out. He pointed to the mouthpiece to Jack Reese, and instead of Jack Reese doing the normal thing that the referee does, he brings the mouthpiece over to the corner and they rinse it off real quick. This man was rubbing the man's mouthpiece on the side of his pants, bruh. Never seen that before in my life, and I've been watching this shit for a minute. You know what I mean? Jack Reese does some off the wall stuff a lot of the times, man. That one right there, that was something different. I mean, I wouldn't want for me to be fighting. You know what I mean? The my mouthpiece hits the floor. You know what I mean? People are stepping all over the floor throughout the entire night. There's blood on the floor. There's spit on the floor. There's sweat on the floor. You know what I mean? And then you just pick up my mouthpiece and rub it on the side of your pants, man, that you've been working in all day. I don't know, Jack Reese. I don't know how I feel about that. Just stick to the script, man. Walk the fucking mouthpiece over to the corner. Let them rinse it off, bruh. What's so difficult about that? Anyways, so you know what I mean. Zepeda got touched a couple times, couple hooks. You know what I mean. Marie Gesta was trying to, you know what I mean, operate inside the pocket. Was trying to be cute with his defense. Wasn't really working out for him because he was eating a lot of body shots, a lot of headshots. You know what I mean. Not a stellar. His movement was at the beginning until he couldn't absorb any more body shots and he just literally stopped moving. By the second, third round, he was literally standing right in front of Zepeda and just getting teed off on. He got his shots off, but he had no power. He was too small for the bigger Zepeda, and it showed. Not a competitive fight. The co-main event was actually a bit more, a lot more competitive than this fight. But this was a showcase fight for Zepeda. So it being a showcase fight, what did he show? Were we impressed? That's the question that I'm asking you right now. Were we impressed with what we saw today by Zepeda? He showed a lot of stamina. He showed continued aggression. You know what I mean? He showed shots on multiple levels. I mean, he worked the body. He broke his fighter down. He didn't get tired. Whereas Gesta, you know what I mean, obviously wasn't in the best shape because, like I said, by second, third round, he was done. He was gassed. Do I see Zepeda as a contender in this division? The best thing for you to do, man, is for maybe wait for a vacant title to become available and you fight maybe a lesser opponent, become a world champion, and then you could kind of maneuver a little bit, build up your skills, get a little bit stronger, develop more defense, because I think the defense is going to be his detriment. Little drink break. Yeah, like I said, the defense will probably be his detriment, right? Because he doesn't really have head movement and he doesn't have the power to necessarily keep you honest. But he's a very entertaining fighter. He's the type of fighter that the Mexican fans love to watch. You know what I mean? And like some hardcore boxing fans love to see like a fighter with continued aggression, throwing a lot of punches, body shots, head shots. You know what I mean? Giving you a lot of action. So anytime he fights, I'm interested because, like I said, it's always good action. But against a fighter like Shakur, how would you what would you give him in terms of opportunity to become a victor in a fight against Shakur? What would you give him as an opportunity to be a victor against a guy like Frank Martin, a guy like Keyshawn Davis, a guy like Andy Cruz? Tell me, what do you think? Because I named the Pitbull Cruz. I mean, I'm not seeing him being victorious against a lot of these guys. I see good fights. You know what I mean? A lot of these fighters don't really necessarily have a lot of power. So he'll be able to hang in there. There's a possibility he could break him down. You know what I mean? Except for like a guy like Shakur who has apex defense. So um decent night of fights that Golden Boy promoted. You know, I didn't even realize that it was Cinco de Mayo weekend. Is this Cinco de Mayo weekend? This is kind of like a fall from grace, right? In prior years, before Canelo left Golden Boy, Cinco de Mayo weekend, they used to have a big Canelo fight every time. Well, not Cinco de Mayo week. What's the holiday today for? Is it Mexican Independence? Give me a second. I mean, I'm not familiar with, but I heard them talking about it. Yes, Mexican Independence Day. I apologize. Not Cinco de Mayo. Apologize. Black man. You know what I mean? Talking about Mexican holidays. I apologize. I didn't have the right date, the right time. But yeah, Mexican Independence Day today. Usually that's a day that Canelo would have been fighting, a weekend that Canelo would have been fighting a big arena, you know what I'm saying? Stadium fights, arena fights. They have this fight in a hotel, but guess what? We ain't knocking it, man. You got to keep hustling. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep putting in work, and that's what Golden Boy's trying to do. They trying to stay relevant. They trying to keep putting in work. You know what I mean? They got a bunch of good fighters, and they're trying to showcase them and keep them going. You know what I'm saying? Keep building on it. You know what I mean? Now, you go from stadium to a hotel lobby or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep your guys active. You know what I'm saying? But let's not kid ourselves. Let's not pretend that you want to put William Zepeda up against any champion. I mean, there is only one champion, right? Actually, there's two champions. I mean, people want to discredit Tank Davis's regular title, but you know what I mean? Tank is a dog, man. And I'm gonna give him champion status. So Devin Haney's a champion, but like I said, I don't really think he's going to come back to this division because he's struggling to make weight as it is. So let's see our brother move up, man, to 140 and make noise in that division and test the waters there. As I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm kind of like glancing over at the Colorado State and 18th ranked Colorado game. 14 14 to 21 is the score at the time. Kind of like a shocker, right? A lot of people are not expecting this. Yeah, I mean, Deion Sanders' team has a lot of buzz right now, and a lot of people are checking for them, and they're down right now. So that's a shock because Colorado State is not even ranked. So let's see what happens with that. But yeah, you know, I mean, boxing. The night was decent. You know what I mean? There was a lot of rock'em sock'em robot fights. You know what I mean? I was kind of moving around, grabbing a bite to eat while I was waiting for this main event to start. So I was kind of on my phone. Yeah, I mean, also too, man, the zone. I'm gonna give you your props right now. Let me give you props right now. There we go. Give your props right now. By far, the zone has the best app between Showtime, Paramount, ESPN Plus, and the zone. The zone has the best app. It's the most responsive app. It's the app that least infringes on you. You know what I mean? In terms of like constantly asking you for updates or to re-enter your password. You know what I mean? It has a count on the devices that you have. Any shit, you're able to get on immediately, no hassle. You know what I'm saying? Ever an issue is if more than two devices are trying to operate at the same time. That's what the times you might run into a little snag. But other than that, man, I mean, I'm gonna give the zone. I'm gonna give him one more. Let me give him one more round of applause on their app. You guys are doing your thing with the app. You know what I mean? It's very responsive. A lot of stuff on there. You can rewind. You can pause live. Yeah, I mean, ESPN, you could do that too. Showtime, man. Paramount, step your game up, please. I mean, I was watching the Canelo and Charlo episode 2, which I'm gonna give you guys a reaction to, but I'm waiting for my partner to get to be with me so we can like chop it up clear properly because I like the banter that we had on the last review for episode 1. It's gonna be a little late, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice, man, and not chop it up on my own. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I was saying, I love the fact that the zone allows you to be able to pause, fast forward, you know what I'm saying, rewind, on demand, no problem. You know what I'm saying? The app is snappy. It doesn't infringe on you all the time, constantly asking you to re-enter your password. Yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, I mean the fights were whatever. A lot of one-sided affair for the most part of the night. Like I said, as I was glancing at my phone while I was getting something to eat, while I was moving around, taking care of business, doing this, doing that, while I was waiting for the main event to start. Um, so I guess I'll close my night out, probably watch the rest of the football game, or maybe I will glance at the UFC. I think the main event's probably be starting up soon. Shevchenko is doing the rematch with the girl that beat her last. And yeah, so that'll be the end of me for tonight. Everyone, I am Classic. This is the Eminent Sports Broadcasting. Gave you a reaction to the William Zepeda fight, a player in the 135-pound division. We will continue to keep our eyes on him because he is a player. And one thing we do is we watch the players, man. We don't neglect none of the players, none of the contenders in the champion at the champion level, or we try our best not to, because that would be amateurish for a channel that's trying to become one of the premier channels on YouTube and in media. All right, you guys have a good night. All right, y'all boys.